Erin, on this Monday morning, everyone needs a little pick-me-up, maybe some coffee, right?
I know. I brought you an Americano today. I realized we've been doing tea so much this summer.
Right. And I was just saying, I need a little pick-me-up.
I need a little bit more oomph right now. Specifically right now.
Monday morning, that's what we need.
So what I love about Americano is that it just brings simple coffee tastes to a drink. Because it's made with this espresso and water. So it's got a little bit more of the high, I don't want to say high octane, but it's been the pressurized coffee. That's what makes espresso. It comes through pressure at about 9 to 10 bars, and it's just been extracted to a little bit more of an intense flavor. So it makes whatever you're brewing, just highlights all those peaks and lows of the flavors and whatever bean you're sourcing from.
And tell us a little about beans, because like you said, you have beans from all over the world. Is there really a specialty bean, or do some people?
Well, there is, and we'll start with the first part about coffee beans. So they're not a bean.
Oh,
they're
right.
They're not a legume.
I made the mistake. You're
well,
right.
No,
you
it
tell me
happens
that before.
all the time. People always go like, "What's a bean?" It's actually a seed from a plant, and the plant makes these little cherry fruit. It doesn't grow out of the ground like a bean does, and that's the first thing people go, "Oh, well, that makes sense." But no, there is specialty coffee, and specialty coffee has to have what's called a Q grade of 70 or above. There's all these really intense classes you have to go to become a Q grader, and you taste lots and lots and lots of coffee. And it has to have certain profiles and lack certain imperfections to be able to even qualify into that. A lot of the stuff that you can see at the grocery store will never qualify as specialty coffee for one other very specific reason, and that's because a lot of the stuff to make it through the grocery store has to have a shelf life of up to 6 months. And to do that, a lot of the big roasters have these machines that take all the nitrogen out of coffee. So specialty coffee don't have those. They keep the nitrogen in, which is why it's really best for 7 to 10 days after roasting. You can push it a little bit, but we adhere to that motto at Red Buffalo. And so that's why we're always ordering really fresh, because you want it to stay that way, because the gas is in it. You want coffee to have a little gas. Otherwise it's like serving a flat beer.
Right.
No one likes that.
Right. No.
So when you're brewing it, you want to see the coffee kind of bubble a little bit. You want to see it bloom and have those aromatic notes kind of take flight a little bit. And we have this really good micro lot in. This is from a small 10-acre farm in Honduras that our roaster went directly to, sourced this himself, and it's really, really nice. And we're selling, like I said, it's just a micro lot. We don't have much of this coffee. He doesn't have much of this coffee.
Wow.
And so we're selling this little guy right now. And we're going to keep switching out these really specialty micro lots. And then we have our more regulars who come from slightly bigger estates or cooperatives. But we can tell you exactly where each one of these came from, what farm in Ethiopia, what varietal it is, all those little things that make specialty coffee special.
And does it make a difference with regions? So that's correct as well.
It does, yeah. Region. It's very much like wine. Where how's the soil? What was the varietal? What region did it grow in? Are going to really change how it tastes. And tea's the same way too. You know, a black tea from Darjeeling is going to taste very different from a black tea from Assam. Just the altitude that they're grown at are all going to change these subtle notes in the tea and coffee.
That's really, that's just fascinating to me, all this different coffees. So if you haven't seen coffee, when it comes in it's like a red
a little cherry.
And you can use that as well. What do they use that cherry for? Do they use it?
Well, so there's a couple different things you can do.
And then it's actually white. Coffee's white.
Yeah, it's a creamy whitish green.
Yeah, it's like creamy.
It's a light green.
Right.
But so there's 2 ways you can, well now 3, that you can process coffee before it has been roasted and made into a beverage that we know, and that's called natural process, and that's when the bean is drying, the cherry is dried on there. And then it's all just dried, so you get those cherry notes. And it can taste really great, but for a while it was really inconsistent, so people didn't want natural process because it might get too tart, too sour.
Right.
But we have this great natural process Ethiopian that you can really smell these berry notes in there.
That's so cool.
The other way is called just a washed process, and that's where they through a pressure wash, they depulp that cherry off of the seed that's inside, and then they dry the bean without the fruit on there. And that again makes for just a different taste profile, a different sort of notes you're going to get. And the other one is called a honey process, and that's new. We're going to be getting this honey process Costa Rican is our next micro lot, and that comes from this little tiny 5-acre estate. So those are all things that are going to be really fun to watch and come in as we So you can appreciate those small little farms.
Yeah, if someone wants to try these really specific micro-lotted coffees, how do they find out? And how do they go in?
They can come in. We can brew them on a pour over for someone. They can taste it, and if they really like it, they can take a bag home with them, and we can walk them through just kind of it's better brew methods, because not every coffee tastes great on espresso. Not every coffee is best in French press. Some really do well as a batch coffee. Some do really well as a pour over, and vice versa. And so it's just different notes are going to do better for different ways of brewing.
Right, because I love French press. I mean, that's one of my favorites. Yeah. And so you're just saying that some of the coffees actually taste better.
Taste better, yeah. So we have this really good Sumatra that the oils, because of its long immersion time, a French press does great on the Sumatra. But our Costa Rican, because it's a much lighter roast, it's really a little bit more acidic. It's really crisp and bright. If you have that longer extraction time, because a French press should take about 3 to 4 minutes, it's going to kind of overdo it, and it's going to make it taste a little too sour.
So it should be more of an espresso maybe, or something else?
That one's really good as just like a regular batch brew through your coffee maker at home, or a pour over. It's really good as a pour over. Some of those faster immersion times, it's going to work better on that.
That's really cool. So you guys have a concert going on, or music on Saturday?
We do live music on Saturdays. This week it's Chris Knorr.
Okay.
And we're open from 6:30 to 5:30. Chris will start playing Saturday around 9 o'clock, and he is so fun to watch play. He plays such a wide variety. He's a trained concert pianist from the DU's music school, and he just has such a good time with us.
That's really cool. So if people can find out more information, besides coming in and learning about coffee.
Yes, the best way is going on our Facebook page or our Instagram page or our website. It's redbuffalocafe.com, or if you're on any of the social medias, it's always /Red Buffalo Cafe.
Oh, that's great, Erin. I tell you, I always learn something new, and I hope you guys are tuned in, because this is seriously really fun. And
we either woke you up or we put you to sleep with too much coffee knowledge.
I think
one of the two.
I'm awake now, for sure. We'll go out, definitely check out Red Buffalo Cafe, one of my favorite spots, just right near I-70.
Yeah, just a quarter-mile north of the I-70 Silverthorne Interstate exit. So if you're trapped in traffic, you're coming up, whatever it is, you just need a break from the last week of the summer before school starts, come on in. We have a great river patio. Have a good time.
All right, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere after the short break.